And welcome to Bronco Gym here on the campus of Legacy High School here in Mansfield, Texas for this afternoon's Class 4A Texas Association of Private and Parochial Schools State Championship contest between the Dallas Christian Chargers and the Houston Westbury Christian Academy Wildcats. Good afternoon, I'm Carlos Leal along with my broadcast partner R.V. Vargas of Texas Preps Basketball Magazine and TexasPrepsBasketball.com. And RV, when you talk about these two teams, there's a little bit of history with Dallas Christian, but you absolutely cannot ignore the history that Houston Westbury brings into this game.
Right, Carlos. I took a look at your information sheet you put together for the game, and half that sheet is consumed with Houston Westbury history of championships, finalists, on down the line.
We will tip it off, and the Dallas Chargers will have the ball to start the game. They come into this game with a record of 22-1. They are champions of District 2 4A with a district record of 8-0. The starters for the Chargers: Hayden Baker, DeAndre Cannon, Cameron Martin, Justice Nelson, and Alex Craig. And inside to Alex Craig goes the ball, and he can't come up with it after falling down. Now it is in the hands of Houston Westbury. And back again comes the Dallas Chargers. It looks like Alex is going to have a slam dunk. And just like that, the Chargers are on the board 2-0.
Yeah, back-to-back turnovers by both teams starting off the game, and Craig had not got back on defense yet and was able to be the beneficiary on the receiving end of the turnover.
Westbury will go over their history in just a minute. Here's a layup by Kirk Berger.
Actually, the history will take longer than a minute, but you know what I mean.
That's for sure. Kirk Berger, Galen Robinson, Arda Turner, Kyle Guidry, and Charles Simmons, the starting five for the Wildcats of Houston Westbury Christian Academy. 2-2 is our score. 6 minutes, 52 seconds left to go, just inside the second minute here in this Class 4A Boys State Championship in the TAPPS Association. Inside pass, going to Alex Craig. Craig dribbling on two players, goes up without the ball. It goes out of bounds, and it'll be Westbury basketball.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that was actually off of Dallas Christian. Looked like it might have been off of Galen Robinson, but Westbury Christian seizes the ball.
Westbury Christian is in their their fifth straight title game. They lost the last two championships to Arlington Grace Prep as the ball goes out of bounds of the Dallas Christian. And Arlington Grace Prep obviously not here making the Final Four, and everybody kind of grins because four of their best players defected basically the Prime Prep Academy in some news that was dominating during the season. Deion Sanders' outfit managed to take the coach and four of the top players from that team. So Arlington Grace Prep nowhere to be found. So Houston Westbury obviously breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief at that news. Meanwhile, back on the floor, Dallas Christian with the ball. This is Cameron Martin on the far elbow. Martin having a difficult time. He does get it to Alex Craig, who made a nice cut, and a turnaround lay-in is good, and it's 4-2, Dallas Christian over Houston Westbury.
Yeah, Alex Craig showing a nice inside game. First time to have an opportunity to see him. Really impressed off the bat.
Westbury is a designated home team. Here's a three-point shot missed by Kyle Guidry. Rebound and a putback.
Charles Simmons on
by
that
Charles
one.
Simmons. So it's all tied up 4-4. Dallas Christian and Houston Westbury Christian. 5 minutes and 23 seconds left to go in the first period of this ball game here from Broncos Gym at Legacy High School in Mansfield. Pass to Hayden Baker, and there's a shot, no good. Rebound by Houston Westbury.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure if that was a shot or a pass intended for Justice Nelson.
A three-pointer from the far elbow is good, and a little insult to injury. Arda Turner cans the three-point jumper and then gets knocked over twice by his opposite number for Dallas Christian. It's 7-4, Houston Westbury.
You'll see a lot of guys fall back on their three-point release, hoping to draw a foul as well for a possible four-point play, but that one didn't happen, but good news is the three went.
Here is Alex Craig way out at the top of the key. Now an inside move by Justice Nelson. He puts it up and gets tied up very well by Charles Simmons.
Oh, strong defensive play by Simmons going, looked like he had lost position on that on the inside, but was able to jump and secure a tie-up in possession for his team.
So Westbury gets the ball on the alternating possession, 7-4. Westbury with a three-point lead over Dallas Christian with 4:27 to go in the first period. Here's a dribble drive from Arda Turner. Turner dishes over to Guidry. Guidry's shot is up no good.
Justice Nelson pulled it down.
Dallas Christian back with the rebound. DeAndre Cannon, the point guard. It's a senior.
We're going to find out. We can say that about most of the roster. We'll tell you folks about that a little later, too.
Alex Craig with the ball. He is normally, at 6'5", he's their postman, but not afraid to handle the ball way out there in the hinterlands, as it were. Here's a shot, no good. Rebound and put back by DeAndre Cannon. It's no good. There's bodies everywhere. The ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be Westbury basketball as it went off the hand of Alex Craig and out of bounds.
Yeah, good battling there by both teams, and the ball does go out of bounds, and the Wildcats get possession.
Galen Robinson over to Kyle Guidry as they work the perimeter. Here's a shot from Kirk Berger. Free throw line extended. No good. Rebound is going to go out of bounds off of Houston Westbury, so it'll be Dallas Christian basketball.
Berger with a wide open look right there from the corner free throw line, just not able to complete.
3:30 to go, first period in this Class 4A boys TAPPS state championship game. Houston Westbury leads Dallas Christian by a score of 7-4. Craig moving the ball around the perimeter to Cannon. Cannon back to Craig, top of the key. The 6'5" senior drives it, puts it up, no good. Rebound in the hands of Arda Turner for Westbury. Wildcats bring the ball down. This is Kyle Guidry. Guidry with the ball now gives it back over to Turner, top of the key between the circles. Now trying to go inside to Simmons. Simmons with a turnaround drive, and it's no good, but there is a foul.
Charles Simmons created his own shot on that one. He had a second defender coming over at him, but was still able with enough force and power to get the ball up and draw contact, sending him to the line.
Cameron Martin with the foul. That'll send Simmons to the line. First free throw is good, and we have our first substitution of the game. As out of the game, into the game for Westbury is Bryce Thompson, and he comes in for Kyle Guidry. Just underway, first period. Simmons knocks down the second free throw, and Houston Westbury leads Dallas Christian 9-4 with 2:49 to go in the first period.
And those are the first two free throws for either team this afternoon.
Here's Alex Craig with the ball, puts it up, no good. Rebound falling down. Is going to get a call for traveling or a foul? There's a foul on Justice Nelson, and he's got his hands to the sky like, what, me?
Yeah, he doesn't feel like he was delivered justice on that call. It kind of did look like as the rebounder Nelson came down, not Nelson, excuse me, Bryce Thompson, that he had his footing go out from under him, but the official from behind didn't see it that way.
Second team foul for Dallas Christian, none thus far for Houston Westbury. Turner with the ball, now passes down low to Charles Simmons. Simmons works the baseline, pops it back out to Kirk Berger. His free throw line jumper is good. And Coach Victor Cathy of Dallas Christian has seen enough thus far. He's going to call a timeout. Houston Westbury Christian Academy leading Dallas Christian by a score of 11-4 with 2:22 left to go in the first period. And looking at some of this history that we talked about, RV, in 2011-2012, we talked about the two state championship losses to Arlington Grace Prep. In 2009 and 2010, they did win the state championship in 4A, beating Arlington Grace Prep in 2009, beating Houston Second Baptist in 2010. Of course, they beat Second Baptist to advance to this championship game. But all in all, 23 straight appearances in the Final Four for the Westbury Wildcats. Just a remarkable record, no matter what classification you're talking about.
Agreed. Just an incredible job there at the school by Russell Carr. He's had just fantastic success, one of the most respected coaches at any level, public or private school in the state of Texas.
Chargers now with the ball, trying to cut into this 7-point Westbury lead. In the corner is Dominique Weaver. His three-pointer from the corner is no good. Rebound goes off of the foot of Arda Turner for Houston Westbury. So Dallas Christian will have the ball underneath their own basket. Cameron Martin will throw it in for the Chargers.
Chargers just need to calm down a little bit and stay within striking distance. They'll have a chance, and I don't think they want to see a double-digit deficit in the first quarter.
Cameron Martin and Dominique Weaver working the ball around the perimeter. Weaver between the circles, gives to Alex Craig, top of the key. His drive on the left side, layup no good. And rebound pulled down by the Wildcats, Zach Hamilton. Back come the Wildcats with a mini fast break. A blocked shot from Charles Simmons. And it's the Dallas Chargers ball again, and we've got a backward violation.
Yeah, gosh, a beautiful block down there by Alex Craig to fuel the play going the other way. But unfortunately, the over and back call sends the ball back to Westbury Christian, and it's a 4th Charger turnover already.
Weaver was giving the ball to DeAndre Cannon. DeAndre Cannon's last foot.
Another block by Craig.
Yeah, there's another block. His last step was in the backcourt when he jumped to grab the pass, so that accounted for the double backcourt violation. Now Martin with the ball on the far elbow and whistling a foul. This will be against Galen Robinson. That's his first for the 5'11 sophomore guard.
Yeah, and that comes before the shot, so obviously does not count, and will be ball on the side.
Hayden Baker checks into the game for the Chargers, and Bryce Thompson back in for the Westbury Wildcats. Martin with the ball, now gives it over to Dominique Weaver. Weaver to Craig. Craig dribbling on the right side into the paint and just absolutely tied up.
Yeah.
He's in jail practically when he gets the ball down low on the low block, with the foul this time called against Zach Hamilton.
I really like Alex Craig's activity so far. He's got the only 4 points for Dallas Christian. He just had 2 blocks back-to-back. He's been aggressively taking the ball to the basket, missed a couple of shots, but you can tell early on he is their go-to guy.
Craig will be shooting free throws. His first one is good. So that makes it 11-5. Houston Westbury over Dallas Christian.
Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to score every point as the only player to do so on that team if they're going to win.
His second free throw is good. I would kind of liken him to maybe Bill Lambier, although he doesn't have the frame for it, maybe a Dirk Nowitzki type who's not afraid to have the ball out on the perimeter. Meanwhile, for Westbury, there's a shot no good. Rebound controlled by Arda Turner. He puts it up no good, and the Chargers come back down with the rebound.
Turner went up in one motion on that one. Just wasn't able to convert. Nice attempt.
Weaver to Baker, now to Martin. Martin on the far side, drives, puts up a 10-footer. It's up no good. Rebound to a falling Bryce Thompson.
Yeah, and the referees.
Was he fouled or did he travel? He did travel.
I think the official had that call all the way. He just wanted to make sure he didn't see a foul from behind by the trail official that might have been called to negate that traveling call that was made.
So Dallas Christian will inbound underneath their own basket. Here's Craig with the inbound pass, and he is fouled. So he will go to the line once again.
Alex Craig is going to go in there. He's either going to get fouled. He may end up having a few tied up possessions, but you can tell he's going in there with force and attitude.
Craig already 2 for 2 from the line thus far. His first free throw is up and good.
Nice stroke from the free throw line by the big man.
34.8 seconds left to go here in the first period of this Class 4A Boys State Championship game. From TAPPS, the second free throw is also good. Houston Westbury leading Dallas Christian by a score of 11-8. Ball gets away momentarily from Galen Robinson, but he maintains possession. Now gives it to Turner. Turner driving the far side to the baseline. Dumps it in the corner, now back around to the top. Free throw line extended. Here's a drive from Bryce Thompson.
Wow, very tough shot by Bryce Thompson.
So Bryce makes it 13-8 as Dallas Christian, in all practical purposes, going for the last shot here of the first quarter. It'll be off the hands of Cameron Martin. It's no good. And that's the end of the first quarter. We've played 8 minutes here in Mansfield. The Houston Westbury Christian Academy Wildcats lead the Dallas Christian Chargers by a score of 13-8. And pretty even matchup, although Westbury seemed to get a little bit better of the two teams there, RV.
Well, yeah, if for no other reason, Westbury got more contributions in that quarter. And Alex Craig was the offense for Dallas Christian with all 8 points by the Chargers. A little more spread scoring there by Houston Westbury Christian, and big basket at the end there by Bryce Thompson. Dallas Christian had scored 4 consecutive points. They had kind of weathered an early storm, but nice basket to push the lead back to 5 at the end of the quarter by Thompson.
Both these teams won their respective districts. Westbury Christian with an 8-0 record in District 4 4A. The Dallas Christian Chargers with an 8-0 record in 2-4A. Dallas Christian comes into the game with a 22-1 record. Their lone loss, by the way, to Cistercian Prep of Irving. And if you're not familiar with that from TAPPS, it's because that's a Southwest Preparatory Conference school. 58-39 was the final back on December the 8th. So Dallas Christian thus far undefeated against the TAPPS teams. Here's a drive, and it's going to be a player control foul on Hayden Baker for the Chargers.
Yeah, that was Kirk Berger establishing position right in the middle of the paint there. And good call. Baker did go in trying to make a late pass, but was in the air and couldn't control where he landed. Unfortunately, it was on the stationary defender.
Westbury in their road white uniforms, coached by Russell Carr. And the ball gets away from Bryce Thompson as he was guarded very well by DeAndre Cannon, and it's a turnover.
Victor Cathy liked that, didn't he?
Right in front of his bench.
Exactly. This Dallas Christian team is one, if you're going off experience, they would have that edge. They only have 2 juniors on the roster. The rest of that team is seniors. And
here's a drive into the paint. Dominique Weaver puts it up and in.
Yeah, very similar to the last play, only the defender wasn't there in time.
13-10 is our score now as Westbury leads Dallas Christian with 7:16 to go before halftime. Looking around now inside, back out to Bryce Thompson. Thompson gives to Turner. Turner, or the baseline drive from Jordan Gilliam. Still trying to probe the baseline there, but Alex Craig is there to shut him off. Now a pass over to Kirk Berger. His shot is no good. Rebound still loose, taken by Dallas Christian. Cannon ahead to Dominique Weaver. He puts it in.
Oh, yeah.
Give him the hoop and the harm.
Yeah.
As he will be on the line for a 3-point play.
Dallas Christian much more aggressive at the start of the second quarter. And that last play at the other end, Alex Craig got a piece of that. His 3rd block of the game.
That's a foul on Arda Turner. That's his first. 3 team fouls for Houston Westbury compared to 4 for Dallas Christian. And this will send Dominique Weaver to the line for the and 1. And he puts it up and in. It rattles home. And just like that, it's now 13-all.
Dominique Weaver, all 5 points to this quarter. Maybe this is a quarter he's the only player who scores for his team.
Westbury Christian and Dallas Christian all knotted up. 6:37 to go before halftime. Drive from Arda Turner. Now here's a shot, free throw line from Kirk Berger. It's no good. Rebound controlled by Craig for Dallas Christian. Back up the floor come the Chargers. And trailing the play, Craig puts it up and in. And so Dallas Christian with their first lead of the game since leading 2-0. And Russell Carr has seen enough for a little while. He wants to talk things over with his Wildcat squad.
Yeah, beautiful response by Dallas Christian. As we said at the end of that quarter, it was a shot by Bryce Thompson to push the lead back to 5. But Dallas Christian has just come out the much more assertive team in this quarter. And they're on a 7-0 run here in the period.
Taking a look at the path that both teams took to get to the state championship game, Dallas Christian started off against Grapevine Faith, had a 52-38 victory over them. They advanced and defeated Parish Episcopal in the quarterfinals, 67-46, before last night defeating Cedar Hill Trinity Christian by a score of 70-55. Westbury, on the other hand, defeated Houston Lutheran South in the first round game, 68-30. They defeated San Antonio Christian in the quarterfinals, 70-58, and then last night defeated their rivals from Houston, Houston Second Baptist, by a score of 70-54. So that's how both teams ended up getting here. And pretty tight game thus far. And that ball's going to go out of bounds off of off of Houston Westbury. So Dallas Christian will get the ball in the turnover.
The Chargers have really tightened up the screws defensively as well, in addition to being more aggressive on offense. Might have been a little jitters from them because of the 2, as we saw in the first game we covered, Westbury Christian, the team with much more deep round playoff experience over the years.
And in contrast, Dallas Christian last made the Final Four in 2003. It was their second straight appearance in the second straight appearance in the Final Four, but they could get no further than the semifinals, and now we have a backcourt violation against Dallas Christian.
Yeah, Dominique Weaver lost the handle on that one there, and teammate picked it up, resulting in the over and back in the turnover. Both teams now with 5 turnovers.
So pretty tight all the way around in the second quarter of this one. Class 4A state championship for TAPPS. 5:40 to go. Dallas Christian with a 2-point lead. Now here's a shot and a miss. Dallas Christian comes away with the rebound. Ahead to Cameron Martin. He puts it up, no good, and draws the foul. That will be against Galen Robinson. That's his second foul of the game.
And you've got the Chargers matching the Wildcats as far as the activity and really trying to push the tempo of this game. Wasn't sure exactly what type of style we would see from them. Westbury, as we said, a more seasoned playoff team, and you know what you're going to get out of a Russell Card team.
Cameron Martin sinks the first free throw. Substitution for Westbury as Arda Turner checks back into the ball game.
The run is now also up to 8-0 to start the quarter.
Meanwhile, for the Chargers, Will Morgan checks in as Martin sinks the second free throw, and that extends the Dallas Christian lead over Houston Westbury 17-13 with 5:28 to go before halftime.
Okay, we saw Dallas Christian respond. Let's see what Houston Westbury can do now that they're the team behind.
Robinson gives the ball to Arda Turner on the far elbow. Now in the corner to Charles Simmons. They reverse the ball back to Arda Turner. Turner's shot is no good, and he draws the foul. And I believe that's going to be against Hayden Baker. That's his first.
Arda Turner should be one thankful player right now because all the momentum was going away from the basket, and he still flung the ball towards the rim.
So as a result, he will shoot free throws. Will Arda Turner. Senior guard's first one goes around the rim and out. 5 team fouls for Houston Westbury. 4 for Dallas Christian as Turner sinks the second free throw. And that cuts the Dallas Christian lead to 17-14 with 5:05 to play before halftime.
That also ended the 9-0 run that Dallas Christian was on.
Inside pass to Baker. Nice. He puts it up and in. Nice play from Alex Craig to recognize the cut. And it's 19-14 just like that. Now here's Turner on the drive. Dishes over to Kyle Guidry on the near side. And he will draw a foul, and I believe that will be against Will Morgan. Yep, that's Morgan's first, and the 5th team foul for Dallas Christian. Westbury will inbound the ball underneath their own basket. Arda Turner calls for it, now gives it off to Charles Simmons, and his three-pointer from the top of the key is good. And it's 19-17 Dallas Christian over Houston Westbury.
Good look for Simmons at the top of the key for the wide-open three-point.
Craig with the ball on the far elbow, playing catch with Hayden Baker. Now he has it again, looking for somebody else. He finds Cameron Martin, who drives to the top of the key. Now into the far corner to DeAndre Cannon, looking to shoot it. Now he drives into the paint, stops, puts it back up and in over Charles Simmons. And just like that, it's 21-17 Dallas Christian.
Nice ability to stop on that without traveling.
And wait for the player to jump and get a free look at a three, or a free look at the layup, essentially. Meanwhile, back the other way come Westbury, and Kirk Berger puts in the shot with 3:42 left to go before halftime. It's 21-19 Dallas Christian over Houston Westbury.
Shaping up to be a good one.
Certainly is. There's Craig with the give and go to Will Morgan. The shot's no good. Back the other way comes Houston Westbury, and a shot from Arda Turner goes in, and it's 21-21.
Sure enough, just as Dallas Christian was able to fight back, Westbury Christian withstood their drought, and they've been able to fight back to forge another tie.
I think you're right, RV. This one has the makings of a classic even this early. As a drive from DeAndre Cannon is denied, Westbury comes up with it. Galen Robinson with the ball. Crossing his timeline on the dribble, 4-on-2, and he gives the ball over to Charles Simmons, who drives and is fouled. And the referee's discussing who the foul is on, I believe. And Hayden Baker, no, it's going to be Cameron Martin. I believe. That will send Simmons to the line. Simmons sinks his 3rd free throw of the game and puts Westbury up ahead for the moment, 22-21. Meanwhile, Dominic Weaver checks into the ball game for the Chargers of Dallas Christian. Simmons' 2nd free throw and up and down. So Westbury with a 23-21 lead, 3:05 to go before halftime. Cameron Martin with the ball in the far elbow, gets it up to Craig. Craig inside, drives the paint, puts it up and in. Count the basket, give the foul to Kirk Berger. And that's his first foul of the game. And another and one situation for the Chargers.
And you just knew after the Westbury mini run that the ball was going to land back in the hands of Alex Craig. He seems to make something happen every time he has the ball.
Craig, a 6'5" senior. He's listed as a forward center. He's been playing a little guard here during the game.
Hasn't he, though?
Hits his 5th free throw of the game. It's 24-23. Dallas Christian over Houston Westbury. Meanwhile, Westbury with the ball now. Here's a turnaround jumper from Charles Simmons.
Sweet.
Up and in.
Sweet. Not much you can do about that.
Nope.
Just a nice move. Fake left, went right, rose, and hit the shot.
Stand straight up, put a hand in his face, and hope for the best. About
Exactly.
all Dallas Christian can do. As they play catch along the side. Now here's Alex Craig. And his 10-foot jumper is no good. Westbury comes down with the rebound and a chance to advance on their 1-point lead. Here's a drive, the ball getting out of the hands of Galen Robinson, and a foul call, or excuse me, traveling is called. Great defense by Cameron Martin.
Yeah, it really was. He was victimized the last time and sent Westbury to the free throw line, but as you said, very good defense on that one and a turnover.
He's able to knock the ball away from Simmons momentarily, just enough to knock Simmons off his dribble, and by the time he caught it, he was called for the traveling. Hayden Baker from the three-point. That would have been an NBA three, I think.
Yeah, the net didn't even move.
27-25, just like that. Dallas Christian back in the lead with 1:53 to go before halftime. Now a three-pointer from the far corner is no good. Dallas Christian comes up with it. That was Charles Simmons with the attempt. Dallas Christian with a chance to extend their 2-point lead with 1:35 to go. Cannon over to Weaver on the far side. Weaver to Baker. Baker now dribbles to the free throw line, gets the ball, almost goes between the legs of Cannon. Does a nice job recovering the ball. Now here's a three-point shot, now traveling. Ooh. So Dominique Weaver's three-pointer not allowed as he traveled before he got the ball shuffled his feet. And now Westbury will have the basketball.
Yeah, looked like a pretty tough call to go against him there. Don't have the luxury of a replay monitor in front of us, but it looked like a tough call.
Here's a three-pointer. It's good from Arda Turner. So Arda Turner showing off his long-distance shot. And stop me if you've heard this before, but Westbury's back in the lead, 28-27, with a minute to go before halftime.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Both teams giving efforts worthy of a championship game, and
exactly.
Oddly enough, that's what we're here for. Cameron Martin with the drive on the left side. Can't find it now, gives it off to Craig. Craig dishes in the far elbow to Dominique Weaver. His three-pointer's no good. Rebound by Galen Robinson. Back come the Wildcats. Ahead to Charles Simmons. Simmons' drive is no good. And a foul, much to the chagrin of the Dallas Christian fans.
Much to the chagrin of Hayden Baker, much to the chagrin of Victor Cathy. Unfortunately, chagrin won't change in ruling by referee. Tough call. Looked pretty bang-bang, and we don't know where he might have got him.
Was that on Baker?
Yes, it was.
Okay, because Alex Craig was holding his hands up afterwards like, that couldn't have been on me. Meanwhile, Simmons hits the free throw. He is 5 of 5 thus far in the game, and he extends the Westbury lead to 29-27.
Simmons with a game-high 12 points to this venture right now.
Second free throw also good.
13th point.
And 6 of 6 from the line. That'll be something that, Victor Cathy will have to remember coming down to crunch time as to maybe who to foul, who not to foul.
Yeah, not number 10.
Here's a drive from Dallas Christian. This is Cameron Martin, and the ball goes off of Westbury Christian and out of bounds.
Good strip attempt by Kyle Guidry there, but his team not able to quite get the turnover. Good defense, though.
Martin will inbound the ball for the Chargers underneath their own basket. Pass up to Craig. Craig's shot is no good. Rebound comes all the way out to the free throw line, or three-pointer, I should say. Westbury now with the basketball. Here's a drive from Bryce Thompson. It's up and good. 32-27, a mini run by Westbury with 12 seconds left to go before halftime. So the last shot from Dallas Christian. DeAndre Cannon with the ball, 6 seconds to go. He is between the circles, now dribbles to his right. Cameron Martin from the elbow, up no good, at the buzzer. So we played 16 minutes in this Class 4A Boys TAPPS State Championship game here at Broncos Gym at Mansfield Legacy High School. And the Houston Westbury Christian Academy Wildcats lead the Dallas Christian Chargers by a score of 32-27. A game of mini streaks thus far, as RV adding up the point totals for us. And RV, why don't you go over these? And pretty evenly matched these two teams seem to be.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was a 5-point game after one quarter, 13-8. It remains a 5-point game, and it's interesting how it became a 5-point game in this quarter because there were serious runs made by both teams. But you play the 8 minutes, and we end up right where we left off after the first 8 minutes.
Yep, 13-8, as you mentioned. Houston Westbury with a lead coming into the second period. Both teams scoring 19 points in the second period, which alludes to our 32-27 score. And Houston Westbury, no stranger to the TAPPS Final Four as they're making their 23rd straight appearance. Meanwhile, only the 3rd appearance in school history for the Dallas Christian Chargers, at least since 2000. And they are still accounting themselves pretty well. What does the scoring look like?
Yeah, you've got the major players doing what they do best, leading their teams. Alex Craig, we talked about, very active early on all over the court. Has 3 blocks to go with 13 points and 3 rebounds. Very impressed with Alex Craig. 5 points by teammates Hayden Baker and another 5 by Dominique Weaver, providing the majority of the Dallas Christian Chargers scoring. Charles Simmons, just an outstanding second quarter, an 11-point quarter for the Wildcat sophomore. That's kind of been our theme today. We're only in our second game, and we've seen a number of outstanding sophomores. Charles Simmons is another. 11 in the second quarter, a game-high 15. 9 points chipped in by teammate Arda Turner. He likewise had a nice second quarter with 6 points. After you get past those, you go down to Kirk Berger with 6. And a bucket for Bryce Thompson that rounds out the scoring. 8 rebounds in the first half for Dallas Christian and 7 for Houston Westbury. Westbury's got a bunch of players with a rebound. They're just distributing that as well as they are their scoring. So we're getting what we expected, Carlos. As
Absolutely.
You said, we can understand why these two teams are the final ones playing in Class 4A. And we talked about the veteran playoff experience of Westbury, and They certainly are. They don't shy away from tough opposition either. I was looking at their history this year in schedule, and they lost by 16 points, but they lost to a Houston Yates team that really blows out most teams by more than 16.
Oh yeah.
That was actually the first game of the year, way back on November 12, and that told me something right there about what the Westbury Christian team could become. And certainly they have, as they played their year out and are back in familiar standing at a state tournament championship.
So when you add it all up, it is a 32-27 lead at halftime for Houston Westbury over Dallas Christian. We'll be back with the action from the second half after this short break. This is Carlos Leal along with RV Bogus. We'll see you in the second half. And welcome back to Broncos Gym here on the campus of Legacy High School in Mansfield, Texas. The TAPPS Class 4A Boys State Basketball Championship game between Houston Westbury and Dallas Christian. Westbury currently leads 32-27. Welcome back into our second half action. Carlos Leal along with my broadcast partner RV Bogus. Texas Preps Basketball Magazine and TexasPrepsBasketball.com. And RV, take a look into the mind of both of the coaches. What do they have to do in order to come out on top?
Well, believe it or not, I think they'll both probably say a lot of what they did in the first half. A lot of what both teams did was good. They forced action defensively, had pressure. Offensively, they both pushed the pace that they like to do. So I think it's just a matter of minimizing turnovers and getting rebounds.
Westbury starts with the ball and the layup by Galen Robinson that goes in. And just like that, Westbury is up by 7 points, 34-27.
And play defense.
Yeah, you might want to do that a little bit.
Just a little too easy there for Galen Robinson.
Justice Nelson with the ball at the top of the key. Over to the far side. This is Hayden Baker. Baker back to Nelson to the top of the key once again. Now on the near elbow to Cameron Martin. Martin trying to get the ball down to Alex Craig. And the ball knocked away by Westbury out of bounds. It'll be Chargers basketball.
I think Russell Carr this half will continue sending a second defender anytime Alex Craig catches the ball on the low post. He did way too much damage there in the first half with one-on-one opportunities.
Here's a three-pointer from the near elbow by Hayden Baker. It's no good. Rebound corralled by Westbury with a chance to extend that 7-point lead.
Dallas Christian opening this half back in man-to-man defense again.
Charles Simmons drives, puts it up and in over two players as Alex Craig trying to help out Justice Nelson, but to no avail. It's now 36-27 as Houston Westbury leads by 9 over Dallas Christian with 6:50 to go in the third period.
Simmons really having just a spectacular game, the 6'2 sophomore.
There's a feed over to Justice Nelson, who got a little extra push from Westbury, but it went unrecognized by the refs, and now I think a timeout by Victor Cathy, I believe.
Yeah, you know, we're only a little over a minute into the quarter here, but he's not liking what he's seeing to start this quarter. 4 quick points by Houston Westbury Christian. The game is about to be pushed out to a double-figure deficit, and I don't think he wants to fight from behind by more than 10 points here with only less than half the game to go.
Both teams have made runs as both teams have held the lead, but this is definitely the biggest lead for either team at 9 points. Several lead changes, a few ties mixed in, and I think a wise move by Victor Cathy to try and stop the bleeding, as it were, make sure it doesn't get too far out of control before they have a chance to gather the forces back in. And as you said, looks like they're trying to apply some defensive pressure on Craig and limit his mobility with the ball. Yeah,
they're doing their best if they can. Alex Craig is definitely the main go-to guy for Dallas Christian. There are other guys who can pick it up. We saw them do that during the first half. And let's see if Victor Cathy has called a play coming out of this timeout, settle the team down. As you said, stop the bleeding a little bit. It's grown to a 9-point lead, and see if we have a set play coming here.
Big contingent from the Dallas Christian side. Houston and Westbury obviously a lot farther to come, but they still brought some very vociferous fans, and they've been making themselves known throughout this ball game. Westbury Christian with the ball, and it got away momentarily from Kyle Guidry. Or no, excuse me, that's Charles Simmons. As he tried to pass it, it ended up getting back into his own hands.
Right.
And he got called for the traveling.
Okay, well, they got the turnover that they wanted. Yep. Now let's see if we have a play that was set up here to try and get some type of offensive flow going again. They've been in a drought. 36-27, there's a pass to Craig, knocked away by Houston Westbury. And Westbury comes away with the basketball. Arda Turner on the 4-on-2. Here's a layup, and it's good. And that is Jordan Gilliam, I believe. Nope, actually it'll be Charles Simmons with the 2 points for Christian. It's now 38-27, an 11-point lead for Houston Westbury over Dallas Christian. Craig with the ball in the paint, turnaround jumper up and good. So finally, Alex Craig able to get the ball with some mobility, and he delivers 2 points for the Chargers. Back the other way comes Westbury. Here's Kirk Berger. Out to Simmons, back to Berger. Berger's shot is up and in. So good action up and down the court for both teams. It's 40-29. Westbury over Dallas Christian with 5:35 to go third quarter. Westbury Christian really passing the ball well here in this quarter.
15-foot jumper is good by by Cameron Martin. The wrong number 11, the blue number 11, Carlos.
4 points now for Cameron Martin, the junior.
And it's a 9-point Westbury lead. Here's a three-pointer from Simmons from the far elbow. It's no good. Cleared away by Dallas Christian. DeAndre Cannon with the ball. His elbow free throw, or three-pointer, I should say, from the near side is no good. Westbury comes back down with it.
Obviously would have been a huge shot had it gone.
Would have cut the lead to 6. Here's a three-pointer from Westbury, and it's no good, as Kirk Berger with a few words for Alex Craig after that one. But nonetheless, Dallas Christian with the ball.
Yeah, in the last 2 possessions, I think Westbury probably didn't take their best shots.
Here's a 10-footer from DeAndre Cannon, and the Chargers starting to creep back into it. It's 40-33, Houston Westbury over Dallas Christian. 4 minutes and 28 seconds left to go in the third period.
Plenty of time in this one.
And the Charger fans urging their team to D up. Simmons with the ball. Nice move. Unfortunately, did not result in a basket. Alex Craig comes down with it, and the Chargers come back the other way.
That was a tough pirouette move by Simmons, but he almost got that to go.
Did a give and go with himself there, it looked like. Here's Craig from the free throw line. Dishes over to Justice Nelson. His shot's no good. Craig with the rebound and the putback.
Nice hook shot by Alex Craig. Shows that he's got the full repertoire to his offense.
And just like that, Dallas Christian creeping back into it. It's 40-35, Houston Westbury with 3:45 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, you're in the championship. Neither team's going to just go away.
And there's a shot no good by Arda Turner. Rebound by Dallas Christian. Back come the Chargers.
Ooh,
nice little
nifty
turnaround behind the back dribble by Cameron Martin. He doesn't get the shot, but he does draw the foul.
Yeah, sometimes you can make those moves just for the fancy frill, but in that case there, it was almost out of necessity to create the open lane, which he did, and as you said, drew the foul.
That's Charles Simmons' first foul, the first foul for either team here in the second half. And it will send Cameron Martin to the line. He's already 2 for 2 from the line. And trying to cut into the Westbury lead. His first free throw bounces and does not stay. Not able to get the shooter's roll. Meanwhile, checking in for the Wildcats, Zach Hamilton. And he comes on in relief of Charles Simmons, so Simmons will have a little bit of a rest as he gets a pat on the behind from Coach Russell Carr.
That was Dallas Christian's second missed free throw out of 10 attempts now.
So Martin unable to change the scoreboard. It's 40-35. Houston Westbury over Dallas Christian with 3:24 to go in the third period of this TAPPS Class 4A state championship game from Mansfield. We're glad you joined us here. A attempt by Kurt Berger with the air ball.
Yeah, that was the influence of Alex Craig again. Carlos coming out after him. Lofted it high, just not far enough.
Justice Nelson with the ball, trying to direct traffic, trying to find Craig. Can't find him. Gives it to DeAndre Cannon. Baseline over to the other side. A three-pointer from Hayden Baker on the far corner is no good. Rebound goes out of bounds. That'll be Westbury basketball, and Alex Craig slapping the ball in frustration.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating for Dallas Christian. You had an opportunity there with 2 free throws that were missed by Cameron Martin, and then the three-pointer there that drew all air, which you never like to see. I'm familiar with that kind of shot, though.
That's my main bread and butter. What are you talking about? Bryce Thompson checks into the game for Kyle Guidry, and we've got an equipment issue with one of the Charger players. It appears that DeAndre Cannon's shoelace needed to be retied, so plays back in action after taking care of that small matter. Westbury with a 5-point lead. Their 23rd straight Final Four appearance here in the TAPPS State Championship Tournament.
Say that again.
23rd straight. 1990. None of these kids were even born.
That's what I was wondering.
The last time Westbury did not make it to a Final Four. Nice block by Justice Nelson for Dallas Carter, or excuse me, Dallas Christian, and wow.
Yeah, that was Zach Hamilton taking a ride there, trying to hang on for 8 seconds and win the prize or something, but there's no call other than Dallas Christian. You can take the ball.
Wow.
A little surprised at that right in front of the referee. Good effort by both teams.
Dallas Christian with the ball again. DeAndre Cannon gives it over to Cameron Martin. Martin's shot rattles back out and back in, and it's now 40-37. Westbury over Dallas Christian. 1:58 to go in the third period. Galen Robinson at the point for Westbury. Now the ball down into Zach Hamilton. Hamilton gives it to Berger. Berger's drive from the free throw line is good. And give him the hoop and the harm.
Very nice drive by Kirk Berger. You can tell that whenever he gets the ball, he likes to operate from up at the high post, whether that's settling for that outside shot, which he's capable of, or driving in, as he's shown us a few times today, and in this case, the opportunity for a three-point play.
And his free throw is good. So Berger makes it 43-37 in favor of Houston Westbury. Meanwhile, the foul was called on Justice Nelson. That's his second, and the first team foul for Dallas Christian in this half. Nelson with the ball between the circles.
Craig really battling and calling for it. Now he backs off from the high post. Coming back out to set a screen, it looks like, yeah.
Trying to set the screen. Here's a shot, no good by Hayden Baker. Rebound comes down. Craig is hurt, and Cameron Martin with the rebound and the putback, and it looks like Alex Craig took a shot to the face.
Yeah, this place got quiet in a hurry. You don't like to see that. You don't like to see it for any player, but this is one they especially cannot afford to lose.
Well, he immediately grabbed his mouth and bent over.
Mm-hmm.
So he's being tended to at the moment. 1:14 left to go in the third period. Houston Westbury Christian Academy leading Dallas Christian by a score of 43-39 in this TAPPS Class 4A State Basketball Championship. Craig still being tended to. Looks like his shoulder, actually.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell from this vantage point.
No,
I guess he was holding on to his shoulder. It looked like he was holding on to his mouth, but he will take a breather on the bench. They'll check out the extent of his injury.
He's probably hurting all over. They've really been banging on him today. Let's hope it's nothing major, that Alex Craig will be able to return soon. It's still just a 4-point game, and I doubt we'll be seeing him the last of this quarter, but hopefully Alex will be back for the fourth quarter.
That could be a huge turning point in the game. 4-point lead for Westbury Christian. Bryce Thompson with the ball, driving, puts a layup in and is blocked by Justice Nelson.
Yeah, Justice says, hey, Alex, I'm not the only guy, and Alex Craig is leaving right now to head back to the locker room, it looks like.
That can't be a good sign.
No, you were hoping he would be able just to come right back out for the fourth, but they're going to take a look at that shoulder extremity.
Justice Nelson reminded me of Dikembe Mutombo, except for the finger wag was all he needed on that one as he blocked it. Meanwhile, here's a drive and another block that Zach Hamilton tried against Nelson, and Nelson said, hey, didn't you learn from the first guy? 43-39 is the score. Westbury clinging to a 4-point lead. Dallas Christian doing everything they can to get back in the game. Can't quite seem to get over the hump, though. 30 seconds remaining. The ball goes out of bounds. Off of, Cameron Martin had it. It went off of one of the Westbury players. So the Chargers will inbound the ball underneath their own basket. It'll be DeAndre Cannon with the inbound, guarded by Bryce Thompson. As they swing it out to Cameron Martin. Cameron between the circles. Now backs it out, almost like he's waiting for the last second shot.
Yes, sir. Clock counts down to 15 seconds.
And that is indeed what Victor Cathy is calling for.
Alex Craig, meanwhile, is back on the bench. That wasn't long.
Yeah, it didn't take long. That'll be some good news. And we have a foul away from the ball.
Good call.
And I believe that's going to be on Bryce Thompson. It'll be his first as he decked Hayden Baker trying to fight through a screen, it looked like.
Exactly. He was wanting to come out and contest that shot and went through Baker in the effort.
5.1 seconds to go. Here's Justice Nelson. Near side, drives baseline, puts it up. It's blocked by Zach Hamilton out of bounds. And before we can determine who gets the ball, the buzzer sounds. And that's the end of the third period. So with 24 minutes in the books in this Class 4A Boys TAPPS State Championship game, the Houston Westbury Christian Academy Wildcats lead the Dallas Christian Chargers by a score of 43-39. And RV, it was kind of a, a tale of two sides of the quarter, basically, as Houston seemed to control the first half, and then Dallas Christian tried to come back, just not quite able to get all the way there.
Right. Westbury Christian pushed that advantage out beyond 10 points, and the game had the appearances of possibly fading away from Dallas Christian, but again, these are two teams playing in the pinnacle game, a state championship. Neither is just going to relinquish anything, and credit to Dallas Christian, as you said, Carlos, for the latter part of that half and fighting back, and they got plenty of contributions to help do that, namely Cameron Martin and, of course, Alex Craig, who had 10 of the team's 12 points in that third quarter. And we were at 5 points, and now 4 points to end the first three quarters, so it's been tight all the way through. I wouldn't expect anything different in these final 8 minutes.
The Chargers actually outscored Houston Westbury by a score of 12-11 in that quarter. And Alex Craig is still on the bench at the moment.
Right.
As the Dallas Christian Chargers have the ball to start the fourth and final period of regulation, I would have to say. Judging by the way these two teams are playing, we could have some extra time.
Yeah, quantify that, that's for sure.
They are unable to score on their first possession. Back comes Westbury. Bryce Thompson with the rebound and driving it into the front court. Now here's the ball in the hands of Charles Simmons.
He's a very poised sophomore, I can tell. He seems to know what he's doing and under control at all times.
Meanwhile, Bryce Thompson putting on a dribbling clinic, and the ball goes out of bounds.
I think they're going to get DeAndre Cannon.
Yep.
I think he got a little tired of that dribbling exhibition. It's like one thing or another is about to happen here, buddy.
Said, come here.
Yeah, you're either going to quit thanks to me or I'll just get a foul, but I'm not going to watch you do this.
Galen Robinson, the normal point guard for Westbury, and he has a nice little move there on Cannon. Drives the lane, puts it up, and it is good. So Galen Robinson scores, and it's now 45-39, and here's that streak again at the beginning of a quarter from Houston Westbury. Three-pointer, and actually we're not going to have the shot as there's a foul, and it's going to be a player control foul against Justice Nelson, and the Dallas Christian fans not happy, but that's third foul on Justice Nelson.
Yeah, vaguely reminiscent to the call that went in favor of Dallas Christian earlier when the player was fighting through the screen, but this time the call doesn't go their way. But fortunately for the Chargers, Alex Craig is back on the court. I don't think they could afford to sit him any longer, assuming he's healthy, and we do hope that he is.
That'll definitely bear some watching, as that shoulder, his right shoulder, was the issue. So we'll see what happens on both sides of the ball. Here Westbury has the ball. Arda Turner. Over to Bryce Thompson. Thompson between the circles, now dribbling on the far side. Free throw line just inside, puts it up, no good. Rebound corralled by Dominique Weaver for Dallas Christian. Weaver dribbling the ball on the near side. He stops at the elbow. Gives it off to Hayden Baker. Baker now between the circles. Over on the far side to Cameron Martin. Martin calls the signals out, drives all the way, and is blocked in a foul.
Wait a minute. There is a foul, but it looks like it's going the other way.
He drew the charge. And all the Dallas Christian fans thought it was going to be a foul on the trailing guy who raised his arms and blocked the shot. But instead they get Weaver on the player control foul, and I believe that was Charles Simmons that he ran into.
Let's see what happens at this end of the court, but that could stack up as a big play in this game. Actually,
it wasn't Charles Simmons. It would be Bryce Thompson. Charles Simmons not in the game at the moment. 45-39 is the score. Westbury over Dallas Christian, 6:06 to go in the ball game. This Class 5A TAPPS state championship game. Westbury shooting for their first state championship in 4 years. And now we've got a foul away from the ball, actually a timeout.
Yeah.
A 30-second timeout against, or charge to Russell Carr and Westbury Christian.
Yeah, I think the offense was a little out of sync there. There didn't appear to be any type of plan or motion to it. It's just kind of almost a standstill, and Russell Carr said, if you're going to do that, we'll really stand still for a few seconds here and talk about what we want to do.
That's the second timeout for Westbury. Both teams with 3 timeouts left. Let's kind of reset the clock situation for you. It's 45-39, Houston Westbury Christian over Dallas Christian. 5:53 left to go in the fourth period. Both teams have 3 timeouts. Westbury has been called for 2 team fouls. Chargers have been called for 4. The alternating possession at the moment would be in the hands of Houston Westbury.
Yeah, and to this point, we only have 2 points scored in the quarter. Those from Galen Robinson. There's just not been any offense, and we have played over 2 minutes. So Dallas Christian's going to need to step up that into the action here pretty quick if they want to be back in it.
Yeah, no points at this juncture is not good for Dallas Christian.
No.
And there's another foul against Dominique Weaver. That's his second now in the last minute to go with that player control foul. The rather controversial one, at least in the minds of the Dallas Christian Charger fans. So Arda Turner with the ball on the far elbow, trying to get it into Kirk Berger, which he does. Now back to Turner.
Good patience shown by Westbury Christian.
Turner bowls it over now. Berger with the shot and the foul. So give 2 points to Kirk Berger, and I believe that's going to be on Cameron Martin.
Yeah, Kirk Berger had to lift that one high off the glass, and at the same time he drew contact. Just a great all-around play.
So that extends the Westbury lead over Dallas Christian to 47-39 with a chance to make it one more. Berger's free throw bounces around and finally settles in, so it's 48-39 now with 5:27 left to go. Meanwhile, Cameron Martin called for his 3rd foul of the ball game. Martin with the ball between the circles right now. Gives it to Baker.
Nice switch there on defense.
Baker moving from between the circles to the near side. There's a pass knocked away by Kirk Berger, but back in the hands of Dallas Christian. Here's a shot from Cameron Martin. It's no good, but the foul is against Houston Westbury. Actually,
it did go.
It did go. I'm sorry. I did not hear a huge
eruption
from Dallas Christian, so I assumed that the shot was no good. Nonetheless, Cameron Martin with the 2-pointer. He is 2 for 4 from the free throw line. He'll have a chance to make it a 3-point play the old-fashioned way, and he does.
That's exactly what Dallas Christian needed at this juncture, whether it was from a 3-pointer or, as you said, a play the old-fashioned way.
5 minutes left to go in regulation. Houston Westbury over Dallas Christian by a score of 48-42. Galen Robinson with the ball, trying to probe for some weaknesses in this Christian defense. Now there's a double team against Bryce Thompson. He manages to get the ball out of there. Now here's Berger again from the near side. His layup is no good, but the Dallas Christian player cannot come down with the rebound inbounds.
Yeah, Berger attempted to flip up a similar shot real high off the glass there with some spin on it, and unfortunately for him, that one did not go.
Actually, it goes off Westbury. I beg your pardon. The Dallas Christian player had it and was falling out of bounds, managed to get it off of him and then off the Westbury player. So Dallas Christian with a chance to cut into this 6-point deficit. DeAndre Cannon to Hayden Baker. Baker on the far side. Now dribbles between the circles. Free throw line, gives it off to Alex Craig. Craig's shot is no good, but his shoulder doesn't appear to be hampering him at all as he draws the foul.
Yeah, very nice play by Hayden Baker there on the drop-off to Alex Craig. And I was just watching Craig and really thinking that he, in these last 4 minutes here, really needs to assert himself as best he can, call for the ball or whatever, because they'll have to double team him.
He is now 6 for 6 from the free throw line as the foul goes against Kirk Berger. That's his second, and the fourth team foul against Westbury, compared to 6 for Dallas Christian. Yeah,
Dallas Carter?
No, Dallas Carter's not in the house.
Okay,
That's what I'm sure. So Westbury will be in a 1-and-1 situation on the next foul from Dallas Christian. Meanwhile, here's a shot from Galen Robinson's no good. Alex Craig comes down with the rebound, and this 4-point lead has a chance to get cut into again by Dallas Christian.
And the Dallas Christian side of the stands rises.
Martin with the ball, now gives it over to Hayden on the far side. Now back to Martin in the corner of the far side. Now they reverse the ball. Here's DeAndre Cannon with a 3, no good from top of the key. Alex Craig with the rebound, cannot put it back in. And it seems like handy wrap or something goes on top of that basket the closer Dallas Christian gets to Houston Westbury.
It really does, but to Dallas Christian's benefit right there, Alex Craig did draw that and tossed out a wide open look for a 3-pointer that almost went.
Meanwhile, Craig is now 7 of 7 from the line as he has 2 here. 3:39 to go in this 4A state championship game for TAPPS. Houston Westbury leading 48-45, 48-46.
3:39 in regulation, that is, as you said earlier. We don't want to discount an extra 4 minutes on this one.
8 straight free throws for Alex Craig. The Christian fans on their feet, urging defense on this time down the floor. A 2-point lead for Westbury with 3:23 to go. Here's a drive and a pass by Berger, knocked away. Cameron Martin comes up with it for Dallas Christian.
Craig again active in the way of that one.
Drives the whole floor, can't get the putback, can't get the shot up. The putback by Craig is no good. Rebound comes down to Westbury. They've got a fast break situation. Arda Turner gets tripped up.
Yeah.
And this will be on Dominique Weaver. It'll be his 3rd. That was not necessarily a bad foul.
No, not really. That had the makings of a fast break.
Yep.
And yeah, you're right. At least, and of course, this is just 1-and-1. As everyone knows, you do have to make the first shot to get the second. So perhaps he misses, and Dallas Christian comes down with a rebound.
Turner at the line. He missed the first part of a 2-shot free throw earlier in the game.
Nice.
But he cans the front end of this 1-and-1.
Noise? What noise?
Noise? Nah. Announcers jinx? Nah.
Yeah, I'm a senior. I've been around. I'll do another one for you here, Coach. There you go.
Up and in. So Turner gives Westbury a 4-point lead, 50-46 with 3 minutes to go. The Dallas Christian Chargers trying to win their first ever state title game. Robinson now gets it back in the corner to Baker. Baker drives it back to the elbow. Looking for somebody to throw to. Finally settles on Cannon.
Kirk Berger really working with Alex Craig down low, trying to deny an entry pass.
Weaver and Cannon playing catch with the ball. Here's Weaver on the near elbow. Out to Craig. Craig, top of the key. Gives it off to Hayden Baker. Baker drives, dishes to Cannon in the corners. Three-pointer's no good. And he corrals his own rebound. Now on the dribble drive, runs out of dribble. Gives it over to Weaver. Weaver back to Craig. Craig, free throw line. Left side, now over to Hayden Baker. His three-pointer, no good. Rebound Westbury, and he pulls it across. That's Bryce Thompson. Finally just kind of yanks it around.
Yeah, that was a pretty fast jump possession call too, I thought. But
oh, they called a jump? Okay, I was thinking they were going to call a foul.
Yeah, that's how fast it happens.
2:14 and counting left to go in regulation. Houston Westbury over Dallas Christian, 50-46. Here's an inside pass and a lay-in by Kirk Berger. Nice play, and there's a timeout. Victor Cathy did not want to have to call, but he does. So with 2:03 to go in regulation, Houston Westbury leading Dallas Christian in this Class 4A TAPPS State Championship game by a score of 52-46. And RV, it's uncanny how the shooting for Dallas Christian, obviously it's not on purpose, but they just can't seem to put the ball in the basket to get level with Houston Westbury.
Yeah, many shots have just rimmed in and out. We've seen a number of those happen here in this half and in this quarter especially. A lot of tough break shots for Dallas Christian that had plenty of opportunities to draw a lot closer than where we're sitting at right now. To Houston Westbury's credit, they've been able to come down with some clutch rebounds, and on that last play that we just saw, Kirk Berger could have been anxious and gone up for a shot with potential block, but showed great discipline, waited for the defender to fly by, and then just had a simple layup. Big play in the scheme of things by Kirk Berger.
If you're Victor Cathy, you have to be telling your team, okay, I know we're doing the right things to get in the position of the win. Sooner or later, those shots are going to fall since they haven't been. It's just the law of averages, basically.
Yeah.
And we just got to keep at it and keep Westbury contained, and maybe some good things will happen. So a 6-point deficit with 2 minutes to go in regulation. Dallas Christian losing to Houston Westbury at the moment, but trying to cut into this 6-point lead.
Looks like a play designed for Craig out of this timeout.
Yep, Cameron Martin on the near wing, or far wing, I should say, looking to get it into Craig. Craig being guarded by Berger. Now here's a three-pointer top of the key. Hayden Baker's no good. Rebound controlled by Dallas Carter once again. Or excuse me, Dallas Christian. Dominique Weaver with the ball now gives it to Curtis Martin, and they'll reset it. 1:29 to go and counting. Martin on the drive, puts it up and in.
Big play by Cameron Martin. He's had a number of those in this half.
52-48, 1:18 to go.
Okay, now you still have 2 fouls in the 1-and-1. I don't know if they're aware of who the poorest free throw shooters are, but they ought to identify them. And with just a minute, you just about had to start doing that.
Well, you don't want to foul Charles Simmons because he's made all six of his free throws. Arda Turner is 3 of 4, and an offensive foul on Arda Turner.
And that's an even bigger break if you're Dallas Christian.
Wow, nice play by DeAndre Cannon to draw the charge.
Oh, my. Exactly 1 minute remaining, so let's see if the Chargers are able to set up some type of play to score fast. And then you can play a few seconds of defense, try and get another turnover. If that doesn't work, foul.
There are very few Dallas Christian fans not on their feet at this point of the ball game.
And the same across the side with the Westbury Christian Wildcat fans.
Martin with the ball, driving, free throw line, pass knocked away, stolen, and a foul called. As nice play by Zach Hamilton to knock the ball away.
Zach Hamilton, what a huge play. No points today for Zach, but the junior came up with maybe the play of the game right there.
And I believe that's the 4th foul on Dominique Weaver. It is the 8th team foul. So that will send
Zach Hamilton
to the line for the 1-and-1. He has not shot a free throw thus far in the game.
It would be his first point, and would it ever be one of the biggest in his career?
It's up and good. Very cool, just like he's in practice. Dribbled the ball 3 times, picked it back up, put it in. So a 5-point lead currently for Westbury with a chance to make it 6.
And even this made free throw still leaves it a 2-possession game, so a couple of three-pointers could get Dallas Christian back into it.
Next free throw is good as well. 54-48 with 40.1 seconds to go. Houston Westbury Christian leading Dallas Christian. And we've got a timeout by Coach Victor Cathy of the Chargers. That will leave him, I believe, with 1 left. So 35.6 seconds left to go, RV. If you're Dallas Christian, you don't necessarily want to go for the three-pointer. Well, maybe you do.
Just thinking about that, I believe if you can, you do. And it's going to be interesting to see the play that's called coming out of this timeout. It may be, very well may be a play called to spring someone off the screen for as open a look as you can get for a 3. That's what I would opt for first, because then you do make it a 1-possession game. Assuming that doesn't work, if you can get some type of fast layup, do it. Try and go for the steal. You're still down 4, but you'll have some time on the clock. You're sitting at 18 fouls, Carlos, so you're still putting them on the line for a 1-and-1 where they're forced to make that first one. So there's still some time, but, yeah, there's a sense of urgency as well, I agree.
On the other hand, as far as Westbury is concerned, you don't necessarily want to let Alex Craig run wild. I'm not opposed to letting him have the ball maybe inside where he can't hurt you with a three-pointer, but you definitely got to be aware of those three-point shooters.
That's the one thing defensively you want to avoid is a wide-open 3.
Yep. Anything
else defensively is a scenario for you, and you deal with it.
Yep.
But do not let anyone come off for a clean look to make this a 1-possession game.
So here we go, 35.6 seconds left to go. Dallas Christian with the ball, staring a 6-point deficit in the face to try and come back for the state championship. Three-pointer by Will Morgan, up and no good. Actually, that was Hayden Baker. Rebound corralled by Westbury. And now the foul parade is going to begin. I believe DeAndre Cannon got in for that one.
Yeah, and that was Zach Hamilton on that rebound again. We've spoken his name now in the last minute. A couple of big plays.
Hamilton, who hit both ends of the 1-and-1 a little earlier. And actually, this is not Hamilton. It'll be Kirk Berger with the free throws. Berger 1 for 1 on a and 1 earlier. First free throw is good.
Kirk Berger with really a nice second half, and now with 17 points in the game. Trails only teammate Charles Simmons, who has 19.
So now Will Morgan checks into the game for Justice Nelson for the Chargers. Meanwhile, the second free throw is also good.
Berger, another guy who's just a sophomore.
Yep, and he's 3 for 3 from the line. 56-48. An 8-point lead now as here's a three-pointer. It's no good by Will Morgan, and Westbury gets the ball. Arda Turner, and now it's kind of a desperation as it's 14.7 seconds, and Westbury can smell their 3rd state championship in the last 5 years.
Well, it's the 3rd consecutive year they've appeared in the state title game, and as you said, they lost to a team last year that features a 7-1 freshman down at Baylor right now in Isaiah Austin, who very well could be in the NBA next year for all we know, but they lost to an incredibly talented team, and they're coming back, and looks like this one will be theirs.
Arda Turner hits the 4th of his 5 free throws. It's actually the 5th straight state championship game that they came into.
Okay, I was shorting them twice.
Losing in 2009 and 2010 to Arlington Grace Prep.
Maybe that's what it was.
They beat Arlington Grace Prep, in 2009. 2010 they beat Second Baptist. Then losing the last 2 to Grace Prep. And the final seconds are going to count away, and the Dallas Christian Chargers just not equal to the task. Could not seem to climb to get it even. And the Houston Westbury Christian Academy Wildcats come down with their 5th Class 4A state championship. Their 3rd Class 4A state championship in 5 years as they win by a score of 58-48.
I'll just say we saw a heck of a game here in this one. It ended up being a 10-point game. It was much closer than that throughout. Houston Westbury Christian did lead for most of this one here, Carlos, but Dallas Christian got back into it in the second quarter. They never let the Wildcats fully pull away. They made them earn this game every second on the clock, and can't say enough about Houston Westbury Christian. A lot of different players today coming up big for them. Charles Simmons just incredible in the first half, and we mentioned Kirk Berger, the second half, the fantastic half that he had. And Russell Carr goes back home with another championship trophy.
His 3rd in 5 years, and his RV totals up the scoring. We will let you know that it was 9-5 in that quarter. Kind of a different route, if you will, from the other quarters that were played. Dallas Christian actually outscored Houston Westbury 9-5 in that particular in the fourth period.
Or was it?
I'm sorry,
15-5. 15-9. We'll get it.
I got to carry the one there.
Yeah, we're multitasking here, folks.
It was 13-8 after one. It was 32-27 at halftime, both in the favor of Houston Westbury. They took a 43-39 lead into the fourth period, and Dallas Christian, try as they might, could get no closer than 4 points. I think they might have had a 2-point deficit at one point early in the fourth period, but nonetheless, Dallas Christian with a noble effort falling a bit short as Houston Westbury ends up with a 10-point, 58-48 victory, their third state championship in 5 years. And looking back, that's their seventh state championship since the year 2002. Before that, they went from 1994 to the year 2001 and won 8 straight state championships in 2A, 4A, and 3A. They were a state semifinalist in 93, a state champion in 2A in 92, and a state champion in 2A in 1991 over Brownsville Villa Maria. 1990, the last time, as we said, that Houston Westbury has not advanced to the Final Four, and none of these players were even alive when that took place. So definitely a legacy of winning continuing for Westbury Christian. What does the scorebook tell you, RV?
Okay, well, let's start first with Dallas Christian. And again, as you said, just a noble effort by the Chargers today. And they, as it turned out, they were not intimidated on the big stage, playing in a championship game against a perennial state finalist. Alex Craig, what a game. 21 points, 13 in the first half, another 8 in the second half to lead Dallas Christian. Cameron Martin was the guy who led the effort in the second half with 11 of his 13 points. 5 points apiece for Dominic Weaver and Hayden Baker. 4 chipped in by DeAndre Cannon. That gets you to the 48 for Dallas Christian. On the scoring ledger side for Houston Westbury, 19 points by sophomore Charles Simmons. 19 points by sophomore Charles Simmons led the Wildcat charge, 15 of those coming in the first half. 18 for Kirk Berger, who he was the guy who stepped in the second half to help his team keep the momentum and the edge in this one. A nice 13 for Arda Turner in the game, and after that you go down to 4 for Galen Robinson. 2 points apiece for Bryce Thompson and Zach Hamilton. 2 big free throws by Zach Hamilton when Dallas Christian was trying to make their very last push in this game. Rebounding battle was just about even with the Chargers holding a 2-rebound advantage at 19-17. Turnovers also just about even, 9 for Houston Westbury Christian, 8 for Dallas Christian. And those will total you out some stats there, Carlos.
All righty, so the Class 4A boys state championship going to Houston Westbury Christian Academy Wildcats with a 58-48 victory over the Dallas Christian Chargers. If you're listening on the audio side, we'll have the Class 5A girls coming up at the top of the hour. But until then, this is Carlos Leal along with RV Bogus saying congratulations to the Houston Westbury Christian Academy Wildcats on their third state championship in TAPPS in 5 years. And good afternoon from Mansfield.
Senior guard number 1, Hayden Baker. Senior guard number 2, DeAndre Cannon. Senior guard number 4, Dominic Weaver. Senior guard number 5, Will Morgan. Senior guard number 11, Cameron Martin. Senior guard number 21, Logan Nelson. Senior guard number 22, Elliot Colvin. Senior guard number 30, Max Vincent. Senior guard number 33, Chandler Walker. Senior Board, number 44, Pierce Hines. Assistant coach, Alvin Riley. Assistant coach, James Dixon. And assistant coach, Mark Hancock. Congratulations to both Victor and the students, faculty, administration, and parents at Dallas Christian School on your outstanding 2012-2013 basketball season. This is Westbury's 17th state championship.